rush ice and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
Port. Horns.
Thank you, Ms. Eifel. Chaplain Palmaria, would you please come forward and deliver the invocation?
Will you please join me in prayer? Let us pray. Gracious God, you place people in positions of authority and responsibility for the common good of all. We thank you for the work and leadership of Colonel Roberts, his family, Jenny, Brooke, Whitney, and Charles. May the calm spirit and wonderful sense of humor of Colonel Roberts be something we can all learn from in our professional lives. Colonel Roberts has challenged us in many ways to grow from good to great, and we ask for your empowerment as we continue to grow in excellence in all we do.
Ask you to continue to use him and his wonderful family to make a positive impact in their next community as they have in ours. Please impress on him the memories of a job well done. And now, Lord, we welcome our new commander, Colonel Eigel, her husband, Colonel Chad Eigel, Clarissa, and Noel. We are doubly blessed with a leader and family who also cares about people, who understands the mission of building relationships, all in support of the Space and Missile Systems Center. We feel it in our spirit that Colonel Eigel is ready to lead and build upon a firm foundation. We anticipate new lessons, challenges, and successes that she will inspire for our team. We ask that you grant our new commander wisdom, strength, and insight, and grace for the exciting times ahead. We ask these things in the strong and precious name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Palmaria. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We'll go a little off script, but can we give a hand to Mrs. Clarissa Eigel for... Not easy when your first impression is to sing the national anthem, so. I am Senior Master Sergeant Jason Fitz, your MC for today's ceremony. Assisting me today is our Proffer and First Class Sydney Casagrande. On behalf of Lieutenant General Thompson, I'd like to welcome you to the 61st Air Base Group Change of Command ceremony. Before we begin, we'd like to take this opportunity to recognize our special guest in attendance today. Colonel Roberts' wife, Miss Jenny Roberts, their daughter Whitney, and son Charles. Eigel's husband, Colonel Chadwick Eigel, and their daughters Clarissa and Noel, Colonel Eigel's parents, Major General retired David McGee, and his wife, Mrs. and Colonel Eigel's father-in-law, Mr. David law, Miss Sandy Eigel. We would also like to welcome Lieutenant General Thompson's wife, Miss Ruth Ann Thompson, and their daughter Claire. Brigadier General Philip Grant, wait for it, Vice Commander, Space and Missile Systems Center, and his wife, Miss Heather Grant, Miss Joy White, Executive Director, Space and Missile Systems Center, Chief Master Sergeant Scott Myers, Command Chief, Space and Missile Systems Center, Mr. Greg Carpenter, Honorary Captain for 61st Air Base Group and City Manager, City of El Segundo, Dr. Melissa Moore, Honorary Commander for SMC LE and Superintendent of the El Segundo Unified School District, Mr. John Talashe, Honorary Commander for SMC GP and President and CEO, Specialty Restaurant Corporation, Miss Emily Jones Goodwin, Honorary Commander for SMC DS and Vice President, Public Affairs for Arthur Services Incorporated, and her husband, John. Miss Olivia Valentine, Council Member, City of Hawthorne, and Mr. Mike Jen, former Mayor of Redondo Beach. Go ahead. Last but not least, we'd like to recognize all directors, commanders, chiefs, me and Senior Master Sergeant Dukes, and all members of Team SMC in attendance here today. Today's event is deeply rooted in military tradition and dates back to the reign of Frederick the Great of Prussia. In that period, military organizations developed flags with unique and specialized colors and designs. When soldiers followed their leaders into battle, they kept sight of their flag. If the banner still waved after the conflict, it was a sign of victory. Having this position of great importance, the flag was incorporated into ancient assumption of change of command ceremonies. The organizational banner was exchanged in public for all to see that the holder of the flag is the unchallenged and sovereign leader. The modern-day ceremony is principally symbolic, yet it still announces to all the authority of the incoming commander is the finest military tradition. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant General Thompson.
All right, I'm sure my remarks are up here somewhere. There they are. All right. Okay, so normally, as many of you know, I start off with a joke or something really, really funny, right? Funniest thing I heard today was the protocol officer briefing us before we came in here said, "Sir, you only have 10 minutes to talk." A little bit longer than that, and because of that, Major Francis, why don't you put your troops at rest? All right, great. Thanks very much. Okay, so a beautiful day at Los Angeles Air Force Base. Yes, we are only about 3.5 square blocks, but we're a really, really important 3.5 square blocks. Every day, over 3,000 people come through the gate to come to work here. They spend about $6 billion of the taxpayers' money. They spend that money on satellites, launch vehicles, and ground control segments for the United States Air Forces, really the United States of America's satellite capabilities, space capabilities on orbit. None of that is possible from those people coming through the gate every day unless the support team of the 61st Air Base Group does their job. Whether they're defenders, civil engineering troops, comm troops, personnel troops, it does not matter what the functional part of their job is. Without them, we are nothing. We cannot get work done. Our email doesn't work. Our Outlook doesn't work. We can't sign contracts. We have no money. All sorts of people could come through that gate that we don't know what their intent might be. So the position of the commander of the 61st Air Base Group is a pretty important job. In fact, I'd go out to say, we always talk about the acquisition workforce. I would probably say that at any given moment on this installation, the most important member of the acquisition workforce is that cop that's keeping the bad guys off the base, or that guy in IT that works to make sure our email or our connectivity to the rest of the Air Force is up and running, or that gal over at the CE squadron who's making sure that the roads and the commodes all work out really well, that the logistics, I guess it's not really a CE squadron, my apologies to the CE squadron commander, it's the only cells in the Air Force, CE and logistics. That our warehouse works and that there's supplies for people, that folks can get IDs, that they can make changes in DEERs. I've taken advantage of everything I've just mentioned earlier this week, for me personally. Now, my wife and I, our kids aren't young enough, but there's also people that work for the Child Development Center and at the gym. The folks that come to work every day at the commissary and the BX need a place to park and things to do. None of that's possible without the 61st Air Base Group. And so, therefore, none of that's possible without the 61st Air Base Group's commander, in this case, the outgoing commander, Chuck Roberts. Chuck's pretty much a stud, in case you all didn't know that. Was born in Goldsboro, North Carolina. His Air Force career has included 12 PCSs, a 13th coming up. Deployed 4 times. Graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, yada, yada, yada. Let's talk about the important stuff. Let's talk about the fact that Chuck is the son of a Chief Master Sergeant, retired United States Air Force. The son of a lady who worked in the dining facility at Shaw Air Force Base. In fact, as a kid, he used to get on his bike and drive onto the base, play basketball, play tennis, go visit his mom at the dining facility. There weren't any meals involved with that, were there? Oh, okay. All right. Worked at the commissary at Shaw as a bagger and says he made good money. How many people in the room at some point in their lives worked at the commissary as a bagger? Come on. General Garant, few others. Okay, you're in pretty elite company there, partner. The smart folks who know where the real money is on the base, right? He started off at the Citadel in South Carolina on an Air Force ROTC scholarship, but had a passion to go to the finest institution in the land, the United States Air Force Academy. Sorry, I'm an Academy grad, I had to say that. So during his freshman year at the Citadel, he still applied back to the Air Force Academy and was accepted the following year. Left the Citadel. In fact, got a phone call from Strom Thurmond saying that he'd been appointed to the Air Force Academy. There he got his BS in civil engineering, and wow, what a career it's been. What I think is interesting is if you have ask Chuck to talk about his career, here's what he talks about, the 2 things he talks about with respect to his career. Number 1 is his command opportunities. Where did he have the opportunity to lead fantastic troops day in and day out? And he talked about his deployment opportunities, and as I mentioned earlier, he had 4 of them, and how special they are to him in terms of what he thought he was doing to the United States Air Force. Along the way, he met this wonderful young lady named Jenny. All right, I promised her I would not embarrass her. I lied. So I'm not exactly sure of the story. It's kind of garbled. But basically, Jenny is the sister of one of Chuck's roommates at the Air Force Academy. She was introduced to Chuck, and Chuck basically said, "You know what? I really like your roommate." "And you dated her roommate, really?" "What wisened you up?" "No, don't answer that." In any case, regardless of how that happens that many years ago, we are all the better for it. We're the better for it because, to be frank, no offense, Chuck, but everybody in this room knows who the real talent in your family is. Yeah, it's not you, right? There has not been anybody more instrumental to programs like Key Spouse, to our Exceptional Family Member Program, to some of our spouses group activities than Jenny Roberts. She's been absolutely amazing, and we will miss you. In fact, I specifically asked around about what I could say about Jenny that would be unique, other than, "Yeah, great job, thanks, love you," all that good stuff. And here's an interesting thing a lot of people told me. You cannot out-nice Jenny Roberts. No matter what you do to try and be nicer than her, she one-ups you with a better nicer. Speaking just to the spouses on Officers Road at Fort Mac, the score is like 87-0, Jenny Roberts. We are going to miss you, young lady, and I'd like to give you a coin. Thank you. You've been amazing. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything. Okay, so now Chuck and Jenny are not the only members of the Roberts family that have made a difference on this installation. Their older daughter, Brooke, who spent most of the last 6 months or so in China, right, was here last month, and she's headed back to Washington, D.C. She, in fact, has been accepted at a Global Scholars Program and will study this fall at the London School of Economics. So, as impressed as I am with that, I feel sorry for your bank account, Chuck. But the two kids that we see all the time are Whitney and Charles, both 16 years old. Stand up, guys. Wave to the crowd. All right, Whitney and Charles are rising juniors in high school. Whitney, your parents have really enjoyed seeing you become the huge success you are at playing the clarinet and doing awesome in your school studies. Started playing the clarinet while they were stationed in the UK in 2013 and has just blossomed at it. She recently tested for her Royal Conservatory level testing and achieved a level of 8 standard, which is amazing given that you've only been playing for, 5 years, 6 years? I mean, that's really cool. I got to go to Palos Verdes High School one time for a concert, and I was surprised when the conductor was Whitney Roberts. Very cool. Very cool. Charles is also a rising junior in high school. He is an athlete, takes after his dad. Really loves soccer primarily, but does it all. He's announced his intention to try out for the Tullahoma High School basketball team in Tennessee, where they're PCSing to. And he's really been working hard on his game. Is that going okay? How's their game doing? All right, okay. Just like Whitney's been doing great in school, and Charles, I've been told that you are an expert at burying your sister's cows. All right, nobody knows what that means except the Roberts family. Apparently they play this cow game in the car. I don't know what it is, but maybe you guys can explain it at some point in the future. In any case, we're going to miss Chuck. We're going to miss his passion for soccer. We're going to miss his humor. We're going to miss all sorts of fun stuff about Chuck. But what we're really going to miss is his leadership. We're going to give him an award, a decoration here in a little while. It's going to read out some very specific accomplishments, so I'm not going to state them up front, but let's just put it this way. This Air Base group is running like clockwork. It's absolutely amazing what you all do every day. That's because you have great leaders, and that all starts with Chuck. And you know what the really cool thing about Colonel Roberts is? He's sitting over there right now going, no, it's not me. It's them. I've been in hundreds of meetings in the last year with Colonel Roberts, and he does not use the word I. I did this. I worked this. I interfaced with the local community. I talked to the state. He always uses the word we, or my folks, or my troops. And so all those great accomplishments, all that amazing stuff that you all have done, you've gotten the credit for it, and you deserve it. Thanks so much, everybody, for that tremendous contribution to our acquisition workforce, and thanks to you, Chuck, for leading it. All right, Ann Eigel. Let's talk a little bit about her. How many people in the audience have actually met Colonel Eigel? Okay, all right, you've got some work to do there, young lady. You got to get out there and do a little grip and grin, kiss some babies, whatever. Also a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. Been in service 22 years, deployed twice. This is her 10th PCS. Again, a record filled with command and leadership opportunities. A record filled with important deployments for the United States Air Force. But let's go back to the beginning here and just talk a little bit about her. Where are you from? I'm from all over the world, is what she'll tell you. Her dad was in the Air Force, so she's a brat. In fact, the family fondly remembers the fact that when she was little, she spoke with an English accent because they lived in the United Kingdom. She attended 3 different high schools around the world. She played tennis in high school and in college at the Air Force Academy. I asked her why she joined the Air Force, and she said, my dad was a successful Air Force fighter pilot and an amazing role model during my childhood. She also goes on that her granddad was in the Army Air Corps and the Air Force, and that they both served as amazing role models. General McGee, General Retired McGee, is here today. And what he doesn't know is he was also a role model for this guy right here. Sir, I was in the class of 2001 at the Air War College when you were the commandant at the Air War College. And I took away 2 things that I still use to this day that I learned from Dave McGee. One is, I made colonel while I was there. I got an invite one afternoon, me and probably 47, 57 other Colonel Selects, we didn't know we were Colonel Selects, to come down to the Commandant's office the next morning. So we all showed up in the Commandant's office, and General McGee was there. General McGee said, congratulations, you've all made colonel. It was a pretty special moment that the 2-star would take the time to tell a bunch of lieutenant colonels that, hey, you made colonel. It was even more special because he had a bottle of champagne that he popped, and all of us had a little sip of champagne. Yeah, I'm emphasizing this. Just a little sip of champagne before we went to class that morning at the Air War College. So, General McGee, I would like to repay the favor here. So I got a bottle of champagne, and maybe you and your daughter, after she takes the flag later today, can have a sip of champagne. Stay right where you are, sir. I'm coming to you. Okay, so I learned something else that you guys get to experience occasionally from General McGee. As the Commandant of Air War College, General McGee, and maybe this is just a shtick you were using that year, or maybe this is a lifetime that your family's going to go, yeah, that's him. But you love to tell true stories. Okay, yeah. We always got the true story. when the Commandant got up to talk to us. What a true story is, well, it's really fake news, right? It's a lie. But it's meant to deliver a message. And so some of you have had the opportunity to hear me at staff meeting or in some of the events that we've had in here of, I've got a true story. I learned that from General McGee. All right, so let's get back to his daughter, Anne. As I mentioned earlier, Air Force Academy, Bachelor of Science degree in Environmental Engineering, a couple of master's degree like a lot of us senior leaders. The highlights of her career, guess what? Deployment and command opportunities. Deployed to Al Jaber in Kuwait, was the chief of protocol. She supported a whole bunch of high-level visits prior to Operation Iraqi Freedom kicking off. Those high-level visitors were from the U.S. and the U.K. Of course, as is always the case, when the actual operation kicks off, the DVs are no longer visiting, right? So she supported public affairs with managing the first media embeds. And then in the final months of her deployment, she worked over 500 deployment medals for other people that she was deployed with. She's been an FSS squadron commander. She did that at Peterson Air Force Base, where the FSS is 600 people. She successfully accomplished a UCI, a bunch of devastating wildfires, and did a bunch of really great total force stuff. When you talk to her about her family, though, she also talks about, well, how important they are, as you can imagine. Her and her husband both served as squadron commanders, and they got to celebrate their joint promotion ceremony to colonel. By the way, she outranks him. At the old executive office building of the White House, and that was officiated by General Thompson, the other General Thompson, East Coast Thompson. They met at the USAFA Preparatory School, started dating at the end of their prep school year, and dated all 4 years that they were at the Air Force Academy. She made a wager with Chad at prep school that if he beat me on the test, I would go out with him. And what she fondly remembers right now is, I may have intentionally bombed the test. Married for 21 years, and they've been stationed together everywhere. They've been separated a couple of times based on deployments and things like that, but they've been stationed everywhere together until now. Chad and the kids and the dog are going to stay on the East Coast, and Anne is going to be out here. They have 2 lovely daughters. Clarissa, please stand. Clarissa, who sang our national anthem. She's performed in numerous high school talent shows and took 3rd place in the Papillon, Nebraska Idol contest for singing. She loves to play basketball and volleyball. And this past year, she was selected for the Fairfax County Public Schools All-County Chorus. She's performed handbells in school this past year and also plays the piano. She was recognized with the Presidential Academic Achievement Award in June. And do I need to worry about who the talent in the family belongs to here? Okay, all right. Clarissa, thank you very much. Now, Noelle, age 8, is a little shy, so we're not going to ask her to stand up, but she loves sports. She plays tennis, Topgolf. Oh, Noelle, we're going to have to get out there and hit some golf balls, all right? She loves basketball. She has completed her first 5K with her dad this spring and is a member of the Run Fit Kids Club. She's artistic, and her artwork has been selected multiple times by the principal of her school this past year for display in the front office. She loves math and was just selected for the advanced academic placement for the 3rd grade this fall. Awesome. Thanks for joining our team. In addition to creating memories for her family, though, Anne loves to do travel. They went to Costa Rica this spring. Also have tickets for the family to come here over the holidays to see the Rose Parade. She enjoys golfing. Do you hear that, gents and ladies? We have someone we can take money from on Saturday mornings. She says here that she actually scored a hole-in-one. Oh, your handicap is dropping as I speak. She had a hole-in-one at Pete Field on the family course. Her dad would have never believed her if he hadn't been there to witness it himself. I think that's pretty cool. She wants to be supportive of her children and her husband back in Virginia as they continue to grow and to succeed. She wants to be a great Air Base Group commander, and I know she will be. And while she's here, she also wants to visit a lot of these national parks that are in California, and I can't doubt that. She loves dogs. They have a 6-year-old black pug named Molly May. Molly May staying back in Virginia as well? Okay. And they own several classic vehicles, including a 61 Ford Ecoline pickup truck, a 69 convertible GTO, a 69 Mercury Cougar, and an 08 Shelby GT. And what will you be driving to work, young lady? Oh, you're going to purchase another car. All right. All right, well, you're going to lose a lot of props if you show up in a Nissan Juke or something like that, all right? All right, we were kind of hoping for the GTO or something like that. All right, well, this is awesome to have you on the team, Ann, and we're really looking forward to your leadership as the team. Okay, I have one other presentation I'd like to make, and it's for Colonel Roberts before we get to his deck. As was previously mentioned, or is pretty obvious in the conversation here, I love to play golf. I'm also a golf historian. I love to watch golf on TV. Chuck doesn't do golf. Tough. If you ask any golfer what the 3 most important golf clubs in his bag are, they'll say a driver, the putter, and the wedge. The driver and the putter, they just do one thing. I got to drive the ball down the middle, or I got to putt the ball in the hole. The wedge is the most important club in the bag in my mind because the wedge can play offense and defense. When you're in trouble, I got to pull out that wedge, and I'm in the bunker. I'm in the water. I'm in trouble. I need somebody to save me. Where's my wedge? But you can also, in the modern wedge, score with it. If you're within 100 yards of the green, my wedge is pretty accurate. I'm in the middle of the fairway. I'm not in trouble, but I can play offense. I can get it close to the pin so I can make the putt and get a birdie or save a par. The wedge plays offense and defense. It protects and it scores. And so when I think of Chuck Roberts, I think of how he protects all of us and how he's scored for all of us. So Chuck, I'd like to give you a wedge. The real one has a hickory shaft, but I didn't want to give that for you to ship overseas. Okay. All right. Thanks. I've been saluted for coins, but not for a wedge before. All right. I was going to say Senior Master Sergeant Fitz, but I can just say senior now, right? Has everybody read the new regulations? It's like it's not hard anymore, Senior Fitz. It sounds like a problem that you would have at a nursing home. How's retired General Thompson doing? Oh, he's got a case of the Senior Fitz. Back to you, young man.
Good to see I'm not the only comedian here. Thank you, General Thompson. Colonel Roberts, will you please come forward and join Lieutenant General Thompson? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Lieutenant General Thompson will now present Colonel Roberts with the Legion of Merit. Attention to orders. Colonel Charles P. Roberts distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct and performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 61st Air Base Group, Space and Missile Systems Center, Air Force Space Command, Los Angeles Air Force Base, California, from 28 June 2016 to 11 July 2018. During this period, Colonel Roberts partnered with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board to provide an enhanced transition assistance program at Los Angeles Air Force Base, hosting monthly employer panels, enabling over 30 transitioning members to be hired into the local aerospace industry within the first 4 months of inception. Following the Platinum Windfall of 2016, Colonel Roberts' leadership was instrumental in securing $25 million more in facility requirements, with $5 million executed at end of year to further satisfy an additional 26 quality of life and sustainment projects. Colonel Roberts' unwavering dedication to airmen and their families was instrumental in implementing memorandums of understanding with local communities and participating landlords to waive extensive security deposits and application fees, and offer housing rates in line with military members' basic allowance for housing. An inspiring leader during this 2-year period, Colonel Roberts excelled in the June 2017 Unit Effectiveness Inspection, where the Air Base Group had 4 teams and additional 6 individuals vaunted as professional performers. In addition, his communication squadron professionals excelled in Defense Information Systems Agency's Command Cyber Readiness Inspection to be fully compliant when the previous 4 installations had failed the rigorous inspection. At the end of fiscal year 2016, Colonel Roberts' leadership acumen enabled the installation to garner $16 million to award 22 quality of life and base sustainment projects, amounting to the largest facility sustainment restoration and modernization program in 7 years. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Roberts reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. General Thompson will now present Colonel Roberts with the Armillary Sphere. It reads, "With deep appreciation for your tireless dedication to the men and women of the Space and Missile Systems Center, you upheld the highest level of excellence and leadership, resulting in the exceptional professional development and enhancement of our airmen. We are grateful for your commitment and selfless service to the space mission and our nation. May you find success in all your future endeavors. The men and women of the Space and Missile Systems Center." Thank you, General Thompson. Chief Scott Myers would like to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Senior Shirt Fitz. So I had to ask General Thompson for special permission to kind of go a little bit off script, because it's very rare that a presentation to an outgoing commander on behalf of the enlisted force is done at these ceremonies. But it's also very rare that we get a leader like Colonel Roberts, and as well Jenny and his entire family. So Jenny, before I talk great things about your husband, I'd like to also echo General Thompson's remarks and say thank you for all that you've done for all the families and for everything that you guys had going on in the community. Always had a positive impact. So I'd like to also give you a coin. All right, so Colonel Roberts, just 3 words that I want to use to describe you and your leadership style over the past couple of years. The first one is trusted. You are definitely a trusted go-to person at multiple levels. And when I say multiple levels, trusted, because as you know, General Thompson, General Grant, Ms. White, everyone has busy schedules here. And if there's ever an event that they needed somebody to represent them, you were always there. And that's where I got to know you best, at those events like the promotion ceremonies or whatever we were doing out in the community. You were just trusted. You're also trusted by directors, commanders, and peers. I know if they picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Chuck, I need something," it would get done, and I'm sure they will all echo that. But most importantly, sir, you are trusted by the force and the workforce. You were a trusted leader that people knew that they can go to, that they'd get an honest answer, and that you'd work hard to represent them. So that's number one. Number two, calm and measured. You were definitely calm and measured in every endeavor. There was some stressful times here at SMC, and you had a lot of demands put on you. But like General Thompson said, you always you got it done, you took it, and you rolled with it. Except there's an urban legend that's going on out there, sir. I heard if you're a speeder on base, the calm and measured guy would run you down, jump on your hood, and Colonel Chuck Roberts became Chucky Roberts from Child's Play. But that just goes to show you got fired up for the right reasons, keeping people safe, keeping the mission going, and so that's also very good. And the last thing I have, sir, is you were a visionary. Everything that you did here set SMC up for years to come. Whether it's your interaction with the South Bay Chamber of Commerce, just to make sure that our people getting mortgages and leases, that it was fair. You represented us to the governor of California. You represented us in the community. And you had a vision of not just putting Band-Aids on what's going on right now, but making SMC better for the future. So, sir, on behalf of the enlisted force and everyone at SMC, I got you a little something. It's just a little coin holder, and it has my legacy coin. So this is my legacy coin with the old chief motto on it and the old chief emblem, because you've left lasting legacy here. So, sir, I'm going to salute you and give you this, and thank you. And Colonel Igo, ma'am, welcome. You have great shoes to fill, but we heard great things, and we're looking forward to having you. So thank you. Church.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the commander of the 61st Air Base Group, Colonel Charles Roberts.
All right. Thank you, General Thompson, for those earlier kind words. Much too kind, I'll be honest. And actually, for being here today. I know you're busy, have a very busy schedule, and for you to participate in this event is pretty awesome. And also, Ruth Ann, for you making it. I know you have to go to the airport in a little bit, so thanks for making the ceremony and being with us here today. And Chief, thanks a lot. The coin does mean a lot. It does. Thank you. So, a huge welcome to our community leaders that came out here today to participate in this. Also, for our base leaders for making it out here today. Thanks for supporting us. Myself and also the group. Thank you for that. It is absolutely awesome to be able to participate in the mission that we have here at Los Angeles Air Force Base. Very unique. I was not familiar with it when I got here, but I'll tell you what, when I go out to the other parts of the Air Force, I will proudly say I was part of SMC. So thank you for that. Also a big welcome to you, Ann, and your amazing family. As the boss mentioned, we're both Academy grads, and we actually both knew each other back at the Air Force Academy. I was very fortunate enough to be in the same squadron with Chad. He was a couple years behind me, and I absolutely knew, after knowing both of you guys, that you guys are going to do amazing things, and you're going to continue to do amazing things here, right here in LA, and to be a part of the 61st Air Base Group family. It's going to be awesome. And so a big welcome to the 61st Air Base Group family who made it out here today to welcome Ann and her family. And for those in the formation today, you guys really do look awesome. You look super sharp, as you do every day doing the mission out there. Now, as you guys know, that citation that we did read today is just a very small, minor part of what you guys do for the mission and for the whole area. Daily. It is tremendous, the work that you do, and you do it selflessly, and I just applaud you for that, and thank you for all the support that you've given me and my family while we've been here over these past 2 years. Much appreciated. So I'm sure Colonel Agel will be just as proud as you when she's done in 2 years of what you've been able to accomplish. So I'm not going to keep this long, but I've talked about family a lot today. So let me welcome you, Ann, into the family, all right? So we're going to do something a little bit unique, but we're going to do the group cheer just to welcome Ann and her family in, okay? It'd be awesome if everybody could participate. It's up to you, but even if you're not in the group, come out and participate. So the group cheer, if you don't know it, it's 6-1, and then the crowd will respond with second to none, okay? So do we have it? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm not going to yell in this, but here we go. And in formation, you can do it too. All right, so 6-1.
Second to none.
6-1.
Second to none.
Okay. Welcome, Ann, and congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Roberts. Colonel Roberts will now receive his final salute from the 61st Air Base Group. It is now time for the official change of command ceremony. Lieutenant General Thompson and Colonel Agel, will you please take center stage with Colonel Roberts? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Attention to orders. Special order number G003, effective 11 July 2018. Command of the 61st Air Base Group passes from Colonel Charles P. Roberts to Colonel Ann M. Agel. Thank you, General Thompson and Colonel Roberts. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Agel will now receive her first salute as commander of the 61st Air Base Group. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the 61st Air Base Group Commander, Colonel Ann M. Agel.
Lieutenant General Thompson, I also echo thank you for the kind words this morning. I really appreciate you being here today and officiating over the ceremony. Lieutenant General Thompson, Brigadier General Garrett, Ms. White, Chief Master Sergeant Myers, directors, commanders, chiefs, community partners, family, and the great men and women of the 61st Air Base Group and SMC. I'm so thankful for this amazing opportunity to lead the 61st Air Base Group. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Lieutenant General Thompson, sir, for trusting in me to lead this great team of civilians, military, and contractors. I appreciate your trust in me, and I hope to continue the legacy clearly that has been established by Chuck Roberts. He has created an amazing environment over the past 2 years, and I know I have very big shoes to fill. Chuck, thank you so much for taking the time to share your thoughts with me and provide guidance as I get ready to assume command here. Clearly, your leadership and legacy are going to have lasting impacts on LA Air Force Base and the surrounding community, there's no doubt. You took this team to great heights, and I'm humbled to follow in your footsteps. So it's truly an honor and a privilege, Chuck. Thank you. very much. And thank you, Jenny, to you too. You've been so warm and welcome. I'm very lucky to have lots of family here to celebrate this special day, and I'd be remiss if I did not thank them briefly. My in-laws traveled all the way from Minnesota and brought our daughters out with them. Chad and I would not be here today if it were not for the love and support that you have provided for us over the years, helping watch the girls, helping unpack at multiple locations. Look forward to that help soon. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for being here today. My brother-in-law, Matt, also lives here in California and was able to drive up for this ceremony. It's going to be great to live near family since my immediate family will be all the way across country. So Matt, I look forward to spending time with you, and thank you so much for being here today. I believe my parents traveled the farthest. They came from Shelton, Connecticut, but I knew that they would be here no matter what, as they're always here for our family. So thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for being here. Thank you for instilling the values and the character that have made me the officer, mom, and wife that I am today. Your love and guidance are instrumental to the success Chad and the girls and I have enjoyed. From great vacations to advice and counsel, your support is unending, and I'm eternally grateful. Finally, thank you to my husband and beautiful/cute girls. Clarissa, I'm so proud to call you my daughter. Your rendition of the Star Spangled Banner at age 12 was phenomenal and deserves another round of applause. You're growing into such a beautiful lady who is funny, smart, and talented. While there be an entire country between us, I expect FaceTime to bring us close together daily, if for nothing else, so I can hear your silly jokes. For example, the other day she said to me, "Mom, never trust a German sausage. They're the worst." Yeah. Noelle, I am proud to call you my daughter. The fact that you stayed in your seat the entire time this morning, unlike my last change of command, where you walked across the stage 5 times, making the ceremony look more like a tennis match than a ceremony, you are doing great, kid. You're growing into a cute lady who is thoughtful, smart, and energetic. I look forward to reading with you every night, receiving tons of talented artwork, and hearing about your days at school. Finally, to the love of my life, my husband and soulmate, Chad. You are an amazing, talented Air Force officer, husband, and father. You make me a better person every day, and you do a great job of taking care of our family. I know managing the bulk of the family duties in Virginia is going to be challenging, but you will handle it with ease because you're an amazing person. I love you, and thank you for moving me out here, and most importantly, for being my 24-hour tech support, even from Virginia. Finally, I would like to thank the civilians, military, and contractors that I will have the opportunity to lead and work with here in the 61st Air Base Group. Your accomplishments are great, and your mission is so important to the Air Force and to our nation. As we get to know each other, you will hear stories about how our group puts people first. You will see us celebrate our mission always. You will lead the command by always being ready for whatever comes our way, and we will have fun along the way as well. My family and I look forward to spending time with you and meeting you and your families, and learning about the ways that you ensure LA Air Force Base tackles the challenges of securing the space enterprise, defending space capabilities, and serving as the armor that protects space for our nation. I have no doubt the 6-1 will be second to none. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Agel. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party.